Welcome to Projects for All. My name is Mike, and today we have nearly $1,000 worth of Milwaukee track saw to look at. It's in a pack out. We got 2 tracks. It's been used once, and it was lent to me by a friend, a good friend. Let's get it out of here and see if it's any good. Power to rip solid hardwood, 90% dust collection, over 90%. That's impressive, even with the bag, they claim. 6.5-inch blade diameter, 20 mil arbor, 2 1/4 at 0 degrees, 45 degrees. You got 1 inch and 5/8, 6 speed settings, and 11 pounds with the 6 amp hour battery. Let's see what we got. Standard pack out, retractable handles, big handle that locks itself in place on the top. This is pretty standard pack out. Typical manuals. You get 5-year warranty on the tool and 3 years on the battery, which is not been opened yet. These chargers look nice when they're new. Mine look like I threw them off a roof. They've been in a garbage dump for a while. Brand spanking new 6 amp hour battery. I can already see something I like. Scales that I can actually read. All right, get this pack out of here and have a look at this thing. I like the way this is laid out. Figure out what this is. But it's got its own little compartment, so it must be important. All right, so let's have a look at this thing. Fit and finish, not half bad. Trigger, as you would expect. This button is the lock here for your trigger and does not allow you to plunge your saw. Pressing it allows you to plunge your saw, and then it just locks itself again when you get to the top. We have a dust port, swivel, and a dust bag with a flexible plastic frame inside of it. Putting this on, and it holds itself straight. Just press fits. Nothing fancy. Over here you have your speed selector, 1 through 6. Here's your brand new 6 amp hour Milwaukee battery. Still allows you to get your top handle out of the way. 9 amp hour. Fits just fine. Plenty of space still. I presume, I don't have one to show you, but I presume the 12 will fit just fine also. This is your plunge stop. It has a button right here that is butter smooth and butter smooth to slide. This top scale here is when you're using your track. If you're not going to use your track and you're just going to run this saw right on your material, this is the scale you use here. Plunging your saw, there's a stop right here that contacts that. This is adjustable for fine tuning. You can screw this in and out to adjust where it stops. And you can get in here and adjust it while you're plunged, so you can get that adjustment a little bit easier. Bevel adjustment, super easy to read. There's a knob in the back and a knob in the front. This allows you to tilt your saw. Tilts nice and smooth, 0 to 45 degrees tilt. However, this one stops at 44. 0, right on the money, 44 degrees. Pressing this up allows you to tilt to 48 degrees. And then if you tilt back, it locks back in place, but stops you at 44 there. Pressing this at 0 allows you to get to -1 degree, and then comes back and stops you at 0. You have this knob on the front here. Pulling this out allows you to turn it and select 22.5. Tilting your saw now will stop you at 22.5, which is marked on your scale. Pulling this back out again and turning it allows you to go full tilt again. Beveling this saw is super smooth. You have 3 knobs on the base here. These 2 here for adjusting laterally any play when you're in your track. And then you have this one here. This one has a button right in the center. Turning it gets this little tab to stick out. The tab will lock you in your track, so when you bevel your saw, the saw doesn't fall out of the track. So at full tilt, if I put that in, it wants to pull right out of there. All right, so we said pressing this button allows you to plunge your saw. If you look in the track here, there's a couple spots where it stops. To do that, you flip this lever. Lock is up, unlock is down. So we'll flip this lever. That's unlock, that's lock. Let's put it back on the track, and it gets stuck halfway. This gives you access to removing your blade. Flip that lever back to unlock. It allows us to go back to normal operation. So we get full plunge again. Now, if we plunge our saw all the way down and reach back and flip that to lock, we can lock it all the way down. Now, why would you want to do that? Because that's how you adjust your riving knife. If you look in that window there, it's kind of hard for me to show you, but there's a T25 Torx bolt in there, and then another one. If you push the riving knife up a little bit, that is how you adjust your riving knife. You want 3/16 gap between the blade and the riving knife, and that's how you achieve that. Flipping the lever back to unlock goes back to normal operation. Locked, press the button, plunge. You'll notice I don't have the battery in the saw at any time I'm handling it. Obviously, that's something you should be doing too. The Allen wrench for moving your blade is right here. There you go. It just fits in that hole right there. You are not going to lose this thing. Our arbor lock is that button right there. Pressing that down locks your blade so you can get it on and off. Got your keyed washer and your spindle bolt. You can remove your blade. Track saw finish, 40 tooth, 6.5 inch, 20 mil arbor. So almost exactly like the Festool we reviewed, you have this little clear viewing window. You can put that up against your material. It keeps splinters from flying at you and allows you to see your blade where it's coming out of the material here at the front. You can remove this if you want. With it all the way up, you take your little Allen key and you press on the top there, and that puts that tab back behind there and allows you to pull it right out of there. Why would you want to take that out? Because you have this one that was in the pack out. The point of this is to lessen tear out. So you have to bed this in, meaning you'll put it on and then cut through it. So it presses the material right at the edge, leading edge of your blade here. So we'll take this off. There's a washer, slides on exactly like the viewing window, and then you screw it down from the outside there with your washer. This is adjustable, so you can press it right up against your material to help prevent tear out, tighten it down. The first time you use it, you can see it stopping the blade. You're going to cut through it. So it'll be cut exactly to the side of your blade here to help prevent tear out. You can tell this one obviously has not been cut yet. It's your viewing window, and that just fits right in there and then snaps in place. There you go. This little tab here, if you push that up, that is Scribe. So it just barely touches the material, stops you right there. Flipping that tab back, and you get normal operation again. The saw is smooth as butter in this track. There is no lateral movement because I adjusted these knobs, but let's check that out. All right, I tilted it up a little bit so you can see better. These two knobs right here, when I turn them in like that, gets us a lot of lateral play, front and back. So to adjust these, righty-tighty until there's no lateral play. So now it'll move in the front, but not in the back. Just enough to get that play out. Now we have no lateral movement. It takes literally a second to adjust. You don't want to over tighten these. Down in the shoe here, there's not a whole lot going on. It's pretty flat and smooth. And there's the cam on this knob that adjusts this piece here to tighten you up on your track. Nice and simple, really. This saw even has a provision. If you want to use a rip guide, you can feed it right in here, and then there's your threaded hole to tighten it down. No rip guide is included, but it's possible. All right, let's start with a little 3/4 inch plywood. We'll see how clean it does with that. We're gonna run across the alley and cut down 3 doors for the neighbor. And we'll come back and we're gonna rip a 2x12 and we'll put the tracks together and see how straight those are. So here's our Milwaukee track. Nothing expressly unique or remarkable about it other than it's expensive and it says Milwaukee on it. I'm not saying it's bad. There's nothing bad about it that I can tell you yet. It has two anti-skid strips on the back of it, these two here. This is the replaceable hard plastic that is the edge of your cut right there. Brand spanking new in the box. Fresh edge to cut through. These have 2 foam strips on them. They stay sticky even after you've been using them. So we'll cut the edge off this one, but let's connect them together. Standard stuff, I mean real standard. This is what comes in the tube. 2 connectors, little set screws in a bag. This is all just business as usual for track saw stuff. So here's my Wen track. Absolutely dirt cheap. This one came with a 2-piece. It was like 2 leaves. And then the set screws tighten down on this second piece of steel here. And it expands in the channel. And that's what locks it down. I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of like this better. Rather than tightening a set screw straight into the aluminum, I think I like the 2-piece steel better. I don't like this better. This stuff doesn't stick to anything on this Wen track that is hilariously cheap, but I think they did a little better job than the Milwaukee. So I haven't even ran the saw over this yet. This is the brand new one we just pulled out of the box, and there's a little scratch in it that I can feel with my fingernail. That is the only imperfection I can find on this. Checking with the old Amazon straight edge. And we're straight as an arrow. All right, let's cut the strip off this new track and we'll see how it does. And there's our strip. So I haven't picked this up yet. I just slid it back. Yeah, no dust on this one. Barely. Full dust bag. It was just empty a second ago. Nice cut, man. Nice cut. A little over 8 feet long. Tight. And I might have went a little too fast. Almost no dust on that cut. I mean almost. There's the dust that fell out of the saw when I picked it up. Like nothing. That's crazy. Laser straight cut. Nice sharp edge. Beautiful. So what do we really think here? Everything about this saw impresses me. Everything. Except the track. The track is literally just run-of-the-mill, same as every other track I've used for every other saw. Some of them fit a little better. This one I can't say really anything bad about it, except it's expensive. And that's because it says Milwaukee on it. But I own tons of Milwaukee tools, tons, because they don't break. And I've had them for years. I have a Impact over there that's probably 14, 15 years old and still going strong. So this whole setup that you saw in this video is about $950. The tracks are expensive. Tool only, 400 bucks. So if you're already in this battery ecosystem, you can get this for 400 bucks. And, oh, look what fits on this track. Smooth as butter. So if this fits on this track, then this will fit on a PowerTech track, and you can get two of those 55 inches for about 130 bucks. This tool only, 400 bucks. PowerTech tracks, 130 bucks. Now you got a Milwaukee track saw for 530 bucks. That's not too bad. The only downside of doing that is you can't get the pack out. The pack out is, I think, $640, if I remember correctly. 640 bucks, you get the tool, the pack out, but it makes you get a battery with it and a charger. So that's $140 for the pack out that has the foam insert and a 6 amp hour battery, which is probably that price if you bought it by itself. I'd have to look, but that's not bad. That honestly is probably your best deal. Buy the pack out, tool only with the battery, and no tracks. So everything no tracks, 640 bucks. PowerTech tracks, 130, 770 bucks. Math. So we got this one next. We'll have to see how it does. I didn't have any large hardwood to use this on for this demo, but the 2x12, man, it went through this thing like butter and clean as hell. Like laser straight clean with the blade that's included. All in all, a very nice track saw. The scales on it are excellent. The best ones I've seen so far. And easy to read and big and easy to adjust. This thing is beautiful. Like it, man. Milwaukee, always kicking butt. This company, you know, they know what we want and they make it. And it costs us. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like this one, hit like, hit subscribe. It very much helps out the channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.